Whatever it is if it's a cartel, whatever it is, you're going to break it, and this is the last time it can ever happen.
And if you say out of the 587 that went missing, we have almost 100 as of this morning arrive in Abuja. Have you heard any story about where they were, what happened? Because in a situation whereby we have communication, these people have phone numbers, we can easily get to track them. What did they say happened between 16th of December and 21st?
We've spoken to the major marketers and the independents because all their trucks have been counted among those 587. The Papa gridlock has been a major challenge. We've had issues with the road network, but then there's also the issue of truck drivers not knowing the urgency that this situation demands and stopping at making very, very many stops before getting to Abuja. That's the excuse we've heard. But we've said this is a national emergency and everybody has to take it on board and know that we cannot sit back and say it is business as usual. If you used to stop 5 stops, there's no stop anymore. Make sure the trucks come in. But what we had done was that we had used the Ogara axis. We trucked out Ogara on Saturday and it came in on Sunday. So we are using the Ogara axis to feed the northern region. The timeline is just 1 day, and it's just reasonable that we use that axis more than using the Lagos axis that seems to be having so much challenges in that area.
Well, it is highly unusual for the PPMC to, intervene in this type of matter, in the sense that throughout the year, or in the beginning part of this year, we had some issues. But from the period of inauguration down towards, say, August, thereabout, the situation seemed to be normal. I don't think that the PPMC then was intervening. If you were not intervening then, what was going on then? That has made you intervene, as it had to make you intervene now?
What had happened was that there was nobody knew that marketers were not importing. Nobody knew that PPMC was the one carrying the whole nation. But as soon as the issue of subsidy came up, and people were aware that PPMC was the one carrying the whole nation, information in the industry triggers a lot of reaction, and it's always immediate. And that's then the first reaction. Then we had the rumor that prices were going to be increased, and people stopped coming to pick up products and hoarded what they had in the anticipation of the price of products being raised. But the PPMC has had to intervene more closely because we have made a commitment as management under the leadership of the Honorable Minister of State, and said, we know that perennially around this season there have been issues. And that was what we expected. We were not reacting to the subsidy, we were reacting to the yellow tide that it had become a perennial problem. And so the cargoes that we had planned coming in wasn't in reaction to the subsidy, no. It was for the build-up that we had become a perennial problem, which we also had anticipated, and we said we have to break the backbone of this.
When did you have to intervene more closely? I mean, nobody even knew that the PPMC was involved in the importation of petrol.
Nobody knew. With government, we have everything is being laid out to the public. Know how the system works, because if you do not know how the system works, misinformation is rife. So we've laid out and said, look, this is how the process works. We are supposed to work in partnership. We're supposed to work with the major marketers. We bring in 48%, major marketers and independents, you bring in the rest of the national consumption. This hasn't been so. And we've had to say, we cannot hide behind the screen of, oh, we cannot do anything about it. We can do something about it, and we are intervening step by step. We are going down. I know the phone numbers of every station in Abuja. All the management staff of PPMC are committed. We go out to the stations. How much fuel do you have in your tank? If you're not selling, we have had to enforce free sale. I've had to go to a station. I saw that they had products, and there was a long queue, no selling. I stopped, they dipped, and we sold the fuel for free. And that's going on all around the country.
Let me quickly follow up on that, if you pardon me for that. Why do you think they keep doing that?
From what we hear that around the Christmas season, people make profit for the whole year. That's what we hear. Whatever it is, we will break that cartel. It cannot continue. We are committed that Nigerians have a duty to give Nigerians the best service. We are committed to giving Nigerians the best service. We're not going to just sit down and speak about it. We're going into the field and making sure that Nigerians get the service that they deserve.
Are you at loggerheads with marketers and independent, with major marketers and independent marketers?
Not at loggerheads, but trying to enforce the urgency that is required.
It means that your relationship right now would not be very smooth. A lot of people will wonder if it's not very smooth, do you really think that because you need their cooperation, do you really think that going confrontational now will be the way to, solve this problem?
We're not being confrontational. We're saying, let us do this together, and it's urgent. If you're not feeling the urgency, we are feeling it, and we are going to push you to feel it. It's not confrontational. We're saying, come, let's work together and make this thing work.
Are they saying it? Are they saying it that way? Are they with you on that? Are they saying the urgency?
I believe they are, because we've been having various engagements. The Honorable Minister has been holding meetings. We have been holding meetings with all the stakeholders, and the response has been encouraging. It's just that we need to see the fuel at the station, and that is where we are making that forceful push.
The reason I ask this is because you admit that major marketers have stopped importation of petrol, and PPMC has had to intervene a lot more than it had to do before. The question will be, why?
Why PPMC has had to do a lot more?
No, why major marketers have stopped importing?
With the payment of the subsidy, major marketers have started bringing in their products. Total has brought in a vessel. Quite a number of them have programs, vessels being programmed. But in this intervening period, between when their products come in, we have to fill that gap. And so we are working in collaboration and saying, let us do this together and make sure that the average Nigerian on the streets does not want to know the mechanics behind what we do at the background. What they want is when they go into the stations, they fill their tanks, and they pull out.
Let me come back to that issue of missing the cargoes or petrol trucks. 40% of these trucks in the country are owned by independent marketers, right?
Yes, please.
It would seem as if they're not taking into account of this move by the PPMC.
They have been in collaboration. We have had tanker drivers moving their trucks to Ogara. When we saw that the trucks weren't coming in as frequently as we desired, we had to make alternative arrangements. And so they actually offered that we could use their trucks. Rano did that, Pinnacle did that, quite a number of tanker owners offered their trucks.
Because just let me come in here, because if we did approach them or accepted that offer, that it would mean that these 587 missing trucks are not members of the independent marketers.
No, I didn't say they were missing trucks. I said they hadn't arrived. They said, I mean, the correct word was that they were in transit en route Abuja.
Because
alarm has to be raised if you have sent out trucks since the 16th of December and it hasn't arrived here. I mean,
at that time, because now we're getting a different vibe. At that time that we didn't get to hear anything from them,